Welcome back to Ukulele Corner. I'd like to present you with a technique tip that I find is so important and useful, and it will really help your left hand. It'll make you be able to play with so much more ease. The tendency, whenever there's a stretch of any kind, is to stretch from the pinky. The pinky's weak and it's shorter than the other fingers. So that puts you at a bit of a disadvantage. There's a tendency sometimes to really lean the left hand back and reach forward with the pinky, keeping the index curved. What I want to try to suggest to you is to do the opposite. Your index finger is really strong. Stretch from there and keep your pinky curved. It's going to keep your hand balanced. Keep the thumb low down the neck when you have to stretch your hand. It's hard to stretch when it's up high like this. You don't have much of a range of motion. Getting the thumb really low is going to allow you to have a lot more flexibility. Try pointing with your index finger and keep the other fingers curved like this. That's a sort of concept. If I do that, I can still have this nice arch and have a really strong motion. The best sort of motion we can do is from a C shape from the back knuckle. You can do this all day and not get tired. If your finger's flat and moving, it tires the hand out. If you try to move from the tip joint or the middle joint like this, it also tires it out. So we want to move from the back knuckle. This is going to allow that to happen, and the stretch is going to come from the index finger. So I'm going to present you with an exercise, and I call it the accordion exercise. Imagine accordion all the way closed up. We're going to play on adjacent frets for the first finger and the pinky. Then we're going to open up the accordion, but the stretch is going to come with the index finger until it needs to then transfer over to the pinky, which is very rare to have a really huge stretch like I'm holding my fingers down right now. So to start with, let's say we're going to play at the first fret with our first finger. As I had mentioned in an early technique tip, try to get your first finger or any finger that plays the fret right behind the fret wire. Then I'm going to really compress the hand here. The thumb has to be low in order to do this. The thumb is way down towards the bottom of the neck. I'm going to put my pinky one fret higher. These other two fingers just kind of stay out of the way, the middle two fingers. And what I'm going to try to do is just slide the index finger, keeping the back knuckle curved. It's really going to curve back here. There's just going to be an arch around here as you move in close. Now as we slide, watch my index finger. My pinky's staying curved, but it's like I'm pointing straight with the index finger. I can get all the way from the first fret to the seventh. My thumb is so low on the back of the instrument here. It's down. If I try to turn it like this, you can see it's really the very bottom part of the neck. It's not up here. It's down really low, almost coming off the neck and the bottom. That's going to make it possible to do this. So just practice sliding. You don't have to go all the way to the seventh fret. Just do whatever's comfortable. If it's just a few frets to start with. You don't even need to play notes yet, but just really feel the pinky kind of scanning across the string like it's skating. Like an accordion, just pull it open and then close it back up, compressing the hand, extending. But all of it, what happens is this rotation and swinging that happens with the index finger. You feel this little pivot. You can use your forearm a little bit to do that. Rotating around a bit. And what I try to do then is get really close with the part of the palm where the pinky is, that left or right hand side of the palm, really close to the fingerboard. That allows this to happen. Now if you have to ever do a really crazy stretch where it keeps going, then I kind of rotate back and then start reaching with the pinky. I can get all the way up to about the 10th fret or so. And then it would compress again. Now I'm playing the first fret to all these different notes, really extending open. That's a crazy stretch, right? When are you ever going to need to do that? It's very unlikely, but your hand will actually be comfortable as you do that. Instead of the opposite of keeping the index finger curved and bent and then reaching, you're going to run out of room really quickly if you do that. You're only going to get about to the 5th fret or so, and then your pinky is going to be totally straight. The wrist, there's a lot of pressure that forms in the thumb as you do this. So the idea of working more with your index finger and less with your pinky is really going to make playing a lot easier. I highly recommend do this, just a couple frets at a time. Ease your way into this, and eventually you're going to be able to move all the way up to about that 7th fret. The thumb kind of expands forward as the pinky moves as well. Keep that in mind. Really low down the neck. Always keep the thumb pretty flat in the back part of the neck. if I ever do a crazy stretch, sometimes it feels like the thumb wants to actually come off the fingerboard, but I try to keep it there as much as possible. I love what Benny Chong does, the great jazz player. Sometimes he sneaks his thumb up onto the fingerboard, and that's how he gets these frets, these long stretches. He uses his thumb to play some bass notes. And then first and second finger play, actually play fretted notes. So you'll see, watch some Benny play. He brings his elbow way up to do that and reaches that way. So that's a little extreme. Another way that you can get a big stretch across the fingerboard, use your thumb. But for most of the playing that you'll need to do for just, typical style of playing, pinky's curved, then index finger at any time can drop into a bar chord. It likes to be straight, doing all bar chords and things that you might do. But now, if you need to stretch, you can extend that part of the hand out. For example, the sixth interval, 1 to 5, and the second to high string, or 3 to 7, 5 to 8. This is going through a C scale, harmonize it in a sixth. My pinky stays curved, the index is more extended. That's a very common stretch that I like to do when I play. So keep that in mind, work on this accordion exercise, and let me know how it goes for you.